Hello, my friends. It's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for me to tell you what I sold this week again. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Laura. I sell women's vintage clothing online on sites like Etsy, eBay, and Depop, as well as Whatnot, which is like an online auction style platform. And I bring you videos every single week. On Wednesdays, I do haul videos with you, tell you what I found. On Fridays, I tell you what I sold and how much I sold it for and on which platform. And then on Mondays, we kind of have some sort of chat. It's supposed to be reseller related. Half the time it's just me rambling, but that's what we do here. And today I get to tell you what I sold. So I always start off with my Whatnot sales because I film these videos right after I end my Whatnot show and I have to wrap everything up. So as I wrap it up, I get to show it off to you and tell you how much I sold it for. It's not going to be like a haul video. Like I'm not going to like go in depth about each of the items, but you'll get a quick little peek, probably show you a tag here and there and tell you how much it sold for. Today's Whatnot show was pretty fantastic. I was very happy about that. I was not sure how I felt about it. I shorted myself a little bit on the show. I'd like to have 100 items per show. I only had 87 today. I just didn't backfill like the excess of what sold last week. I put in my 30 new items, but I still was like a little bit short. And today I sold 32 items, which means that for next week, I'm going to have to backfill a little bit more than I had to do for this week, but I know that and I'm going to like try and do better and prepare more in advance. So, as I said, I sold 32 items today. 18 of those are going to, I sold 32 items today. Those are going to 18 different people. And 8 of those people are first-time buyers with me. The rest have bought from me in the past. Before fees, my total sales were $555. Love to see an angel number. And then after fees, I will be making $480.58. So let's get into it. I will wrap stuff up and tell you how much I sold everything for. So first up is a repeat buyer who is also, I don't ever like disclose anybody's actual names or anything, but this person is also a seller and like I love her stuff. So I was flattered that she bought stuff from me. I think she has purchased from me in the past because Whatnot is telling me that she has. I think it's been a little while, but anyway, she got this set. You're not really going to get any idea of what this set looks like. This is a really fun 2-piece set. It's these pants that come up and they like come up at the back and then tie around the waist, but then the front part here is kind of open. But then you pull the front panel up and tie it at the back. And the pants are really wide leg. It's very loungy, pajama-esque. And then the top is like a kimono robe style, but like short. Really cute. I got this from the vintage seller lady that I keep talking about my hauls with recently. And I sold this for $20 on Whatnot. That was what the starting bid was. For the remainder of this video, if I don't tell you what the starting bid was, you can assume that the item sold for the starting bid. Also, I'm going to apologize. Maybe, I don't know. I am going to apologize. I don't know if you need it, but there's construction happening outside my apartment right now. It's very noisy for me, but I think because of the mic probably dulls a lot of that. So I don't know how much of it you're hearing, but if you're hearing crazy, obnoxious noises, it's because they're drilling the street. So that's fun. All right, so let's get this folded up so that we can get her out to her new home. Yeah, I wasn't really sure how today's show was going to go. I had some cute stuff, but I'm still very stuck in that mindset that if I don't have like a lot of 60s and 70s stuff, that my show's not going to be successful. And I just feel like that's a false narrative that I am false narrative. Well, I'm going to get off of the therapy talk, apparently. That's just like a lie I tell myself all the time, right? So I think that it probably has been true in the past, but I think that my buyer base is shifting a little bit and I'm getting some more people who are appreciative of the 80s and 90s stuff. And I think that my buyer base in general is probably growing. So, that was nice. And I think also the fact that I didn't have the full 100 items in my inventory made me feel a little bit self-conscious. And then, I get like my own sort of issues about like, oh, this inventory is stale, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's not stale to the 8 people who've never purchased from me before. And again, a lot of times like They say that some people have to see an item, like, I forget how many times it is, but like there's like actual statistics about, oh, people need to come in contact with something like X number of times before they make a purchase decision. So, I think that can be true sometimes too. I forgot to grab a bag to throw all my stuff in. So I'm going to do that right now. Let's see. I hate when I forget to do that, but here we are. So, all right, throw that in there. Boop. Boop, on the floor. All right, next up. I didn't even look at what that item was, but I knew what it was. So, all right, let's see. And what I mean by that was I didn't expand the sale information to view the photo of the item, but I knew that buyer purchased that item. So I just don't usually trust myself that much. All right, next item is a new to me buyer who purchased one piece, and it is this blouse, which is really cool. So just like a polyester Baroque style 80s piece that sold for $15. Let's get it folded up nice and neat. All right, let's see. All right, so today's Thursday. I'm thinking through some things in my head. Today is Thursday. Trying to figure out like my plan for the week. I've got a couple of, I need to start prepping my Whatnot show for next week, and I need to start working on my Whatnot 70s themed show and getting that loaded up. I was just looking for some other kind of piece of inventory, and I dug into my bag of stuff that I have set aside for listing on Etsy. I have such good pieces in there that I've already forgotten about. So I'm like digging in that bag and I'm like, oh my God, that's right. This thing's awesome. So I'm going to have to get to work on some of that stuff. Let's see. I think I have to go to the laundromat tomorrow, which I don't like going to the laundromat, but I've got stuff that I don't want to send out to get washed by laundry guy. So I got to take it myself. And tomorrow's probably a decent day. I don't want to go on the weekend because, laundromats on the weekend, not good. Next buyer purchased one item from me. This is another new to me buyer, and they bought this t-shirt, this like over the hill type of, it says 50 is fine when you look 39. I love the color of it. It's really cute. I listed this for $5 because look at the ghost print on the back. It's amazing. I think I only paid $1 or $2 for this anyway. So it worked out as far as pricing is concerned, but also the ghost print, I really couldn't. If it didn't have that ghost print on the back, I might have listed it for 10, but here we are. So that's cool. And this is a new to me buyer. So maybe they will become a repeat buyer. That would be nice. Let's see. I did consider keeping this one because I do kind of want to build up a little collection of like over the hill type of t-shirts, like really embrace the aging thing. But the whole like 50 is fine when you look 39, like that's not the message I'm going for. I'm going for the like, fuck yeah, I'm 50, except I'm 53 now. But, like I'm going for that whole like, yeah, and, so. Okay, bag, can we please? The problem though, most of these like over the hill type of t-shirts are all like joking around about old age being a bad thing. I think it's awesome. Except for the part where your joints hurt in weird times. It's like, oh, I slept with my feet instead of like this, they were like this, and now my ankles hurt all day. That sucks. But, All right, next up is I don't even know what I'm fucking talking about. I don't know. New to me buyer purchased 2 items. I just want you to know that I'm aware of the fact that I go off on weird tangents that don't make sense. I know that it's happening. I can't stop it in the moment. I can sometimes catch it after the fact and then try and refrain going forward. But, all right, next buyer, 2 items. First up is this silk blouse, this little 80s silk blouse by Tess. That's so cute. Tess. I love the print on this. This was $15. And I was saying during the show too, that I've really been, I think I've said it on here before too. I've really been enjoying picking up like vintage silk stuff because just modern stuff is made of garbage fabrics. So I did button that wrong. So it's nice when I find things that are silk. I still, what the item looks like still matters a lot to me. But sometimes if I'm like a little on the fence, like I think it's cute, but I'm not sure, and then it's silk, it'll be like, okay, it's silk, so let's get it. All right, let's get this folded. So this is the first item. The second item that this buyer purchased, I am so stoked for. This thing is so cool. This dress does not, the hanger does not do anything for this dress, but it's this dress by All That Jazz. And it's like this dolman sleeve, but the skirt has this like triangular pattern and then all this ruching. So it gives this like very like classic 80s silhouette with the wide shoulders, the narrow waist, the hips, and then like the narrowed down skirt. But because it's got all this ruching, you can actually like move, which is nice. And it has a little belt that goes with it. I've really been surprised that this didn't sell sooner than it has. When I modeled it, like I thought it was cute when I bought it. I'm like, oh, this is neat. And it's All That Jazz, which, we all love All That Jazz, right? When I modeled it, I was like, holy shit, this looks great. Like it really looks good. So that was nice. So this sold for $16. Started the bidding at $15. It sold for $16. So that's nice. And let's see. Let me see if I can get... I've got the belt doing weird things. I have to undo this belt. All right, let's try this. I don't really want to take the belt off the dress. And let's see if I can manage around it. The shoulder pads are always real fun to fold too. You end up folding the item either really narrow or really wide because you have to fold the shoulder pads in or leave the shoulder pad area unfolded. Okay, so let's see. You don't need to have that hair there. This belt. I'm not thrilled with this fold job because this belt is very much sort of in the way. That's just kind of how it is. There. Okay, we got this. We got it fixed, kind of. All right, there's that. Okay. Can I get it in this bag? I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight with the bag, so we'll go bigger. Let's see. Get you in there. Yeah. All right, so let's see. The latest news, there's so much latest news, which we're not talking about at all. That's not what this channel is. But applicable news is fucking USPS is going to be charging a fuel surcharge of 8% on packages. And that starts April something. I want to say April 26th. I think that maybe the legislation still needs to be approved for that, but I'm so sick of the prices. USPS already raises its prices twice a year. And I get the fuel thing, right? Like I know gas prices are crazy high. I understand all that. It would be less infuriating if they weren't raising the prices every single year, twice a year. And like they used to raise them once a year, as far as I recall. And then when DeJoy took over, I think that's when they started doing twice a year. Louis DeJoy, who was like the whatever head of the USPS for a period of time. Okay. Just infuriating, right? And so, but the thing is, someone else told me that UPS and FedEx are also doing fuel surcharges and stuff. And I was reading things about that. Like at the end of the day, I still think USPS is the best option for most people. It's the most convenient to receive packages by. But my God, like stop it. All right. Next buyer purchased one item from me. It's a new to me buyer. It's this yellow little pop over shirt. It's got like the button placket and then you pop it over. I guess that's why it's called that. And this been a few shows and it obviously had no interest until now. And today it sold for $21. I started the bidding at $15. So once again, I have proven that even though I think inventory has become stale, not everyone agrees and people like it. And buy it. So, okay. Let me wrap this up. I don't remember where I got this. I can't remember if I thrifted this or if I got it from Vintage Seller Lady. I feel like I am not financially prepared to make another visit to her, but I need some very specific things. So I feel like I should make another visit to her. All right, let's see. Let me fold this up 1, 2. It's a little bit crookedy, but that's okay. And I'm just double checking that this is the only item that sold here. Is pop that in a little bag. Okay, let's see. All right, next up is a new to me buyer who purchased one item. It was this little Alfred Dunner skirt. Cutie patootie. This sold for $15. That is very nice. All right, let's see. This folded. So I've been really sort of wanting to visit I'll call it my local Salvation Army. It's like a 20-minute drive from me. I don't really have a whole lot of super local Salvation Armies anymore. But I've been wanting to visit this one for a while, and I just never get it together to do it. Maybe I should try and go tomorrow. I don't know. It's a hit or miss kind of place. Like sometimes I'll go and find absolutely nothing, but other times I'll go and it's pretty okay. So it's been a long time since I've gone. All right, let's see. Next up, new to me buyer who purchased 5 items. So let's see. First up, I know these two. That. Okay, cool. So we're all here. First up is this sweater. So this is when I purchased like 5 or 6 all in the same style, different colors. I purchased these, I think for like $2 each when I bought them. I debated about it because these are a little bit, they're just solid colors. It's not normally my thing. But a friend of mine was like, no, that kind of stuff does great for me. So I grabbed them. I put them all up on Whatnot at $10 each. I started them off in my spring sale, which was only last week. One sold last week. I still had the other, I think 4. So second one has sold today. This sold for $10, which is what I started the bidding at. But I'm glad I picked them up. Again, it's a fun thing. It's takes up space, right? And I was able to list it at a lower price, so that feels nice. So that was the first one. The second item this buyer purchased was another one of those sweaters. It's this light aqua color, also sold for $10. Let's see. Okay, get this all folded up. Cute and neat. There's that. All right, third item this buyer purchased is this little aqua colored t-shirt style situation, little dolman sleeve. We got some of these snaps up here. There's the tag. And this sold for $15. All right, let's see. I'm thirsty already. Sorry, I'm folding. Thinking about taking a sip of my little beverage. Let's see. Here's my water. I'm trying to be better with the water. I keep forgetting. You should drink some water right now if you have it next to you and you forget like I do. And then for funsies, that's Ultra Strawberry Dreams Monster. It's pretty good. I like it. All right. Next up, same buyer still, is this 80s skirt. I think the print on this is so much fun. I love it. And this sold for $15. Really cute skirt. And it made me think like I need to expand my skirt wardrobe. I have a few skirts, but most of them are like a little bit dressier. Like this skirt is the kind of skirt that you can wear it a little bit more dressed up, but also you throw this on with a t-shirt and it's just like shorts. I know I say that all the time probably. So, but like I want more of those, And then the final item this buyer purchased is another skirt. And this hot pink and black. This one also sold for $15. So that's pretty cool. Let me get this folded up this way. All right, now we get them stuck in a bag. All right, look at those pretty colors. So very 80s. All right, got that. Next up. Next up is a repeat buyer who purchased one item. It is this very pretty little slip dress style piece. Pretty rose print. There's the tag. This sold for $15. See, I feel like I have to keep getting real close to the computer, and I think that's because my eyes don't feel dry, but I think that like when I'm properly hydrated, I don't have that issue as much as I do when I'm like a little crypt keeper shriveling up in my own skin. It's not that bad. But I should drink more water, okay? Oh, there's a cute little dog outside that I can barely see through the crack that my curtain is open. All right, let's see. I'm zip-locking all the bags today, which I don't normally do with you. But it makes it way easier when I have to actually print the labels. All right, next up, repeat buyer purchased 2 items from me. One of my favorite people. This is the first one. This 90s blouse. I love it's got all this great like chiffon detail, pattern mixing. It's really cool. This one sold for $15. All right. Now this is the buyer who, this poor person, she bought something for me at the end of February. And, you know, once I ship stuff, I like ship it and forget it, right? I don't like follow up on it because I've hit, like Whatnot has these thresholds where once you hit a certain number of sales, you get what they call instant payout. So as soon as I print these shipping labels today, I am paid for these sales. So I don't really pay a lot of attention to when they get received by the buyer because like it'll happen eventually, you know, like I just don't think about it. If there's any kind of issue, you know, I'll know as far as like if the buyer is unhappy with something or whatever, because they're either going to open a case on Whatnot or send me a message on Whatnot and I'll get the notification for that. But this person, who also happens to be a seller, just didn't tell me anything. And was just patiently waiting because the shipping was like, no, it's coming. It's going to get there. It's a little delayed, but it'll be there. And then finally it was just like, we don't know where it is. So she opened a missing mail case, but then reached out to me. She's like, hey, I meant to tell you like this thing never, and she wasn't asking me to do anything. She was just like, holy crap, this thing never showed up. Right. So then I felt terrible. And I know it's not my fault. She also had some other mail issue, like another package that she had received, but it was in one of those USPS like oopsie bags, like, oh, so sorry, this got damaged. And it's literally like the empty package. There was nothing in it. So she just had like a super terrible sort of mail week of things that probably should have been exciting mail for her to receive. So I had a piece that was like super like the same type of style that she likes. And I just sent it off to her. This is also somebody who like, I don't want to say I have a personal relationship with her, but I think that like we might be heading that way. I think we're going to be friends, but you know, like I have more of a relationship with her than just somebody who buys stuff for me. So I was like, so I sent her a thing. It's just like, she's had a terrible mail month. This made me think of her, you know, so I sent it. So she should be receiving that today. But then today she also purchased this for me, this adorable little color block romper. Look at that. And this sold for $25. I had the bidding starting at $15, but sold for $25. So that was nice. Very cute. Let's see. All right, it's got a little straight. Oh, nope, I don't have to cut it. It just kind of came off. There we go. All right. It's like a weird fuzzy thread, but it just came right off. So that's good. Okay, so let me get this folded up. And I don't think she really watches my YouTube channel, but if she does, it's okay because she will have received the package by the time this video goes live anyway. So I'm not worried about spoiling any surprises. But I can't wait till she gets it because I feel like she's going to freaking love the thing that I found. Like I just was like, oh, that reminds me of so-and-so. So hopefully she loved it. All right, let's see. Get this zipped up. Press all the air out. Okay, cool. Done. Next up, repeat buyer who purchased 2 items from me. They are 2 basically of the same pair of pants in 2 different colorways, same pair of pants. These were made by Willie Wear, which is from the designer Willie Smith. Here's the tag for that, Willie Wear Smith. And they're kind of like, I mean, they're like wear out of the house pants, but they've got a very pajama pant vibe. They're really soft. They've got button flies. They're just like so probably comfy. They're not comfy on me because they're too small, but they seem like they would be really comfy. So this buyer purchased both pair, and both pairs sold for $15 each. Each pair sold for $15 is how I meant for that to come out. So here we go. All right, so I'm knock on wood. I'm doing okay so far. Rizzo was like not bothering me during my Whatnot show very much. She did come over at one point for a little bit, and she sat real close and started getting very overstimulated. But then she went away on her own, and it was fine. She did bite me like once or twice, but you know, Rizzo bites. And what's been happening for a while is that she's been kind of MIA during my Whatnot show, but then when I film this video, she comes around and starts getting real agitated about all the movement. But right now, she's still sleeping up on her little shelf tower, so works out well for me. All right, get that all squeezed out. Oh, okay, I think we're okay there. Oh, I see what's happening. All right, whatever. Sorry, something is not letting the Ziploc zip. There we go. Okay, it's fine. I'm being weird. All right, let's see. Next up is a new to me buyer who purchased 1 item. And is it this one? Yes, it's this little color block t-shirt. I think this is so freaking cute. This sold for $15. Whoop. This is that one from my haul video, which was just yesterday, where it's new with tags, but somebody dry cleaned it with the tags still on. I don't know what that was. Why are you dry cleaning a t-shirt, and why are you dry cleaning it with the tags on? But okay. Go on with your bad self there. All right, let's get that folded up and put into a bag. Oh, still a lot left. I keep feeling like I'm almost done. I'm not. I'm not, but we're okay. It's 2:20. As long as I'm done with the filming by 3, then I should be good to get to the post office before 4. So, okay. So let's get that tucked away. It's time for another little hydration break because I'm talking too much. Yum. Okay. Next up, repeat buyer who purchased 2 items, one of which I know I'm going to need my lint roller for. All right. So, first item is this jumpsuit. I was going to say sweatsuit. It's a jumpsuit. It's just kind of like a t-shirty kind of material. Really cute, just little 80s jumpsuit. And this sold for $15. It's just that like t-shirty kind of material that really likes to hold on to every tiny piece of like lint and whatever. So I want to make sure that there's nothing stuck to it. No little pieces of Rizzo or skibs. Will I make the garbage? No, I will not. I am glad that Rizzo is not here for this one because she hates the lint roller a lot. All right, let's see. I'm sorry that you're observing my lint rolling, but you know how this goes. Just how it is sometimes. That's what you get with my authentic content. Lint rolling. I'm authentically lint rolling. I watch other people's content and I was like, knowing how much effort it takes for me to do like no editing, you know, like if I do something in a video where whatever, like something happens and I fuck up or I want to like cut a piece out, you know, I don't know where in the video that really happened. So you kind of have to like try to watch it fast and figure out where that spot is. And then it's like messing around to get like the exact cuts that make sense. So it's not too obvious, all this, that alone. I'm like, no, I don't want it. This is annoying. I don't know how people like micro edit their stuff, which is what I'm calling it. But you know, they want to like put little like, you know, sidebars in there and they like cut other things out. I can't, God bless you. I don't know how you're doing that. Also, I have zero editing skills, right? Like I use like iMovie to try and edit because it's free on my laptop. Other people are using like real software stuff, but like I have to learn how to do that, you know. I'm still trying to like fold my clothes in my house. I don't have time to like learn video editing software. That's a someday kind of thing. And I hate to say it, but a lot of times I feel like the further away you get from regularly learning new things, the more challenging it is when you have to learn something new, especially when it's complex, right? Like, I don't know if it's a byproduct of the sort of time that we live in. Like things have become increasingly easier and sort of more like, you know, idiot friendly in a way, you know, like if you're using Instagram or TikTok, you know, TikTok, I don't really ever make TikTok videos. I really wasn't doing that, but they made editing so effortless, you know, like it kind of edited for you. And so people are getting way more into that and learning things more easily. And I never really did that. And, you know, so it seems a lot more challenging, I think, to me. It's not second nature the way that it is for some people. But also, I think that like the Final Cut Pro, which is what most YouTubers, I think, use to edit their videos, like it's not a TikTok style editing. It's like something a little bit more elaborate than that. But I tried reading instructions for iMovie at one point, and there's no like, okay, step one, start here, right? Their instruction manual is pretty awful. I ended up figuring it out through watching other people on YouTube. I would look up like what I was trying to do and they would show you how to do that one thing. So it was fine, but like, God. All right, the second item that this buyer purchased, so first with this jumpsuit that I just took forever to lint roll, the second item that they bought was this belt, which I just picked up yesterday and is really cool. So this is basically like the buckle, you know, it's not really a buckle. You thread the belt through that hole. Very cool. And this sold for $15. So that was very cool and will probably look cute with that jumpsuit. Although I think I want to tuck this away. It shouldn't really be an issue, but it's got these little like studs and I don't want them. I get real paranoid about things like rubbing against whatever, you know, like, hold on. I don't like how that is playing out. Hold, please. Not really hold, but you know. All right, so I'm going to put that there. Can I do this in thirds? Will that work? A little bit more thirds. Here. Here, there we go. Okay. And then the belt is all tucked between the layers here. And then none of the little metal studs are going to be whatever. I don't know what I'm afraid of. Like I'm afraid that going through machinery and stuff, you know, that the post office machines will like rub against the studs through the envelope and it'll rip out, whatever. I have a lot of weird, like, what if this terrible thing happens? It's not going to happen. And of course, now I'm paranoid again because it's like kind of showing. It's fine, Laura. If it's not fine, they will reach out to you. So chill out. Chillax. All right, next up, repeat buyer, purchased one item. This was one of the things that I pulled out of my eBay inventory when I was consolidating those totes. This is a thing I've had for ages. I thought it was cute. And even when I finally pulled it out, I was like, oh, I wonder why I haven't sold this. Like, it's 42nd Street, right? And it's probably not the Broadway version. This is probably some high school production or something, but it just says 42nd Street. It doesn't have any other weird information. It has a Screen Stars tag, which is fun. So single seam and all that. But I was like, clearly, maybe I just had it priced too high. I feel like I had it priced at probably like 25 plus shipping or something like that for eBay. Anyway, I pulled it out. I was like, this is clearly not going to sell. Like, let me just, I'll stick it on Whatnot. It's not a donate thing, but so I put it up on Whatnot for $5 and it sold for $27. So, it could be that just it was on eBay for so long that eBay was like hiding it, at a certain point when things have been on eBay long enough, eBay is like, girl, no one wants this. And then they hide it. And sometimes they just delete things and don't tell you. But this was still on there. But anyway, so now it's sold and I'm very excited about that. So that's really cool. And the person who bought it, she may like it for like the pin-up-y kind of aesthetic of it because she's got some of that. She's not pin-up, but like she's got some of that kind of style appreciation for sure. Let's see. All right. So let me hide that. Next up is a repeat buyer who purchased 2 items from me. And was it this one? Yeah, 2 cute little tees, which I love because these are exactly the kind of tees I love to wear. So there's this one, this 80s little aqua stripe tee. It's very stretchy. It's got the cute little cap sleeves. It's a very fitted look. It's adorable. This sold for $15. Very cute. Oh, come on, girl. All right, that. Easy peasy. And then the second was this little Gap baby tee, which I also think is adorable. And this sold for $15. So perfection. I love it. So cute. Oh. 1, 2. All right. And there you go. Okay. These, I ran out of small bags, so I mean, I have more. I just don't have more handy for the purposes of this video. So maybe I'll just hold things off camera after I'm done showing them to you. There's not that many more packages to go. All right, let's see. Next up is a new to me buyer who purchased 1 item. It was this, is it this? Yes. It's this little rayon romper. Really adorable. There's a tag, Scarlet. And this sold for $15, but I'm going to leave it because I need to put it in another bag. So I have to get more of those bags. Next up is a repeat buyer who purchased 1 item. It's this shirt, which I just picked up recently, and I think it's so insane because look at this lady. Isn't she awesome? I love that so much. I think she's adorable. She's got prong set rhinestones here, sequins. It's really cool. There's the tag. No, it's not. There it is. So I'm also going to have to wait on that. But that sold for $19. I started the bidding at $15 for that one. And let's see. Next is a repeat buyer who purchased 5 items from me. So first up is this blue and white or aqua and white shirt dress. This is so freaking cute. There's the tag. And I showed this in the photos, both style just like as a shirt dress, but then also belted as a shirt dress. It's really adorable. So that's very cute. And that sold for $18. I started the bidding at 15 on that. Let's get that folded up. It's so fun. This is also such a great like summer piece too. You know, you just kind of toss it on and easy breezy, beautiful. Let's see. This is from that whole 80s menswear inspired stuff, vibe, aesthetic, whatever. Okay, there's one. Next item this buyer purchased is this very cute little sweater vest. This little sage green, black and white. Look at that. And then it's got the little doggies there. And this sold for $15. This is so cute. Let's see, we're going to fold you like that. Little doggos on top. And then the next item that this buyer purchased is this cute little 80s sort of cropped top. I mean, it's a top for sure. Like it's really cool. Like I was thinking that it went with maybe a pair of pants or a skirt, but then somebody during the show said over like a sheath dress. And I was like, actually, yeah, that makes sense too. Because at first I thought this was maybe a 60s piece until I looked closer at the tag remnant and the construction and stuff in my haul video. I went over it. And the idea of the sheath dress makes a lot of sense with the 60s vibe too. So it could be something like that. But anyway, it's on its own now. This sold for $15. Next up is this. Is it this one? 30. Yes, this Jeffrey and Dara rayon dress. I love this so much. The colors are gorgeous. So pretty. There she is, Jeffrey and Dara. And this sold for $15. And let's see. Okay, let me see. I gotta fold it up, but I've got stuff in the way. So hold, please. Let's see. All right, get that done there. Oh, goodness. My fold up. These shoulder pads, once again, are absolutely dastardly when it comes to trying to fold stuff. All right. Sorry, just don't look at this. This one won't be on top, but don't look at that one first. Okay, that sold for $15, which I think I said. And then the final item this buyer purchased was this dress. This is a vintage French Connection. When I bought this, I loved the print, the fabric. Like I thought it was like so, like I loved the way that it draped. I was really in love with the French Connection tag. There. It's so pretty. I love the print and everything. It's got like a very 20s kind of vibe to it, you know? It has these two very small holes in the chest that you really can't repair without them being very visible, like the repairs would be visible. So I had that listed for sale in a whole bunch of Whatnot shows for a while. I feel like I paid like $20 when I bought this dress. And I can't remember what I had it in the earlier Whatnot shows. But then at one point, I think I had it down to 20. And finally, I just was like, I just listed it for 10 because I was like, I really like, I love it, but also like, I don't know what to do with the holes and all that stuff. So it sold today for 10. So I hope that you love it. It's beautiful. I would have kept it, but because I have like, it's got the straight down cut and my hips are wider than my top. So it just ends up looking like a triangle on me, which is very disappointing, but not an unfamiliar problem, sadly, for me. So anyway, I hope that you adore it and that it works well for you. One of my YouTube viewers has purchased it. So in case you couldn't figure that out. Let me see if I can get these in this bag. I feel like I can. Let's see. Are you going to go into one bag? I think we can do one bag. It's just got to be the other bag, I think. A little bit bigger, and then we don't have to fight with anyone. How are we doing on time? 2:35, so we're doing okay because I have one more package after this to wrap up, and then the 2 that I have to do once I'm done telling you all my stuff. But that'll be quick. All right, got those 2. And these 2. Go in there. All right, here we go. Yay. All right, and then finally, final package, which of course has a story to go with it because why the fuck wouldn't it? One a repeat buyer who purchased 2 items from me. So first is this All That Jazz little jumpsuit, so adorable, a little 90s rayon business. And this sold for $15. Very cute, love it so much. Let's see, we'll get that folded up. I love a good jumpsuit, man. Sorry, right, story time is for the dress that comes next, so you just gotta bear with me for a second. Get this all foldy. 1, 2, okay, there's that. So this dress, really cute, you know, another little 90s rayon, got the floral, right? It has a side zipper and then a corset tie up the back, which I have cinched the bejesus out of. And here, Edie Michaels. And this is a little bit larger size. It's mark size 13-14, measures like an extra large. So someone who watches me on YouTube reached out to me. I had just said something in one of my videos about like, hey, you know, if you watch me on YouTube and stuff, like, and you see something in a haul that you're interested in, you can reach out to me. Someone else had done it on Etsy. And so she reached out to me. Now, when the person on Etsy reached out to me, she reached out and, you know, she was talking about one of the sweaters that I had mentioned what I would list it on Etsy for. And so she talked about like the Etsy, you know, she mentioned I'll buy that. And then the other sweater that she wanted to buy, she also like made an offer for like, you know, an appropriate price for what I would put something on Etsy for, you know? So we worked that out. And when this person reached out to me, they reached out to me on Whatnot. And here's the thing, I'm always going to, if I'm doing like a special sale or whatever, right? I'm going to do it on whatever platform you reach out to me on because the platforms do not want me, you know, like you can't come to me on Etsy and I'm like, sure, go on over to Whatnot and we'll work this out, right? Etsy doesn't like that, understandably. So she reached out to me on Whatnot and said, hey, I'm interested in XYZ dress. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, like that's cool, right? But like, I'm not like my Whatnot pricing is my lowest pricing, right? And I start the bidding at $15 on these things. And like normally I would think that this thing would sell for $15, right? I'm like, yeah, it's gonna sell for $15. So I said, I was like, why don't you just like, I'm gonna have it in the show. Why don't you just wait until the show? Like I could have done a special listing for her directly, but I was like, but then, you know, just gotta like pay the shipping and you can't combine Whatnot's marketplace shipping with like anything that happens in a show. And also, I was just like, I'm going to be doing it when I do the whole show anyway. Like, it's just like was easy for me. I was like, just, yeah, why don't you just buy it in the show? It seems like it'll make sense. And she's like, okay, cool, I'll do that. So I put it up there, starting the bid at $15. The fucking thing sold for $74. I could not have imagined that ever. So now I feel terrible because I promise you, I am not ever going to try to like I feel like, and I know that she does not think this, like, but I mean, I don't get the impression that she thinks this, but like, I am not trying to be like, oh, just after $15. I wasn't thinking it would get bid up at all. It had pre-bids that went up to 26 and I was like, oh shit, got pre-bid up to 26. So, and I'm going to like write a note. I told her, I was like, well, I'll figure something out to like make this up to you because I feel really bad. Because I literally would have just done it for 15, you know, whatever. But here's the other thing too. Once I have money, it's very hard for me to get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, anyway, I'm going to like find something else, like, you know, I'm going to try to find like another, whatever, the stuff that she said she likes. You like 90s floral rayon in that size range, and then just like do it specifically with you so that we do not have to go through this again. And I feel really bad. And I'm just going to like, I'll send it to you with, your next order, whatever, something like that. Right. Because I feel really terrible, because if it had just sold for $26, I would have felt bad, but I would have been like, oh, well, it sucks. I feel bad, but okay. But fucking $74, man, anyway. And I know that she could have like decided not to bid. I get that. Right. But I just feel like I duped her and I did not intend to do that. So anyway, that's my little story time there. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's everything for Whatnot. It's 2:41 and I'm done, except for these two, which will take 2 seconds. So I should get to the post office in plenty of time today. You're going to hang out though, because in a second, I'm going to tell you what I sold on all of the other platforms. So I'll see you in a minute. Alrighty, are you ready to see what I sold on the other platforms? Spoiler, it's not really a spoiler, but there were no Depop sales this week. So just Etsy and eBay, just a handful on each, but at least I got a couple on each. So let's take a quick look. I had to talk through pulling my paper back out because I was not prepared. Anyway, here we are. We're going to start off with Etsy. So this is a cute little blouse that I had in a ton of Whatnot shows. Same old story as a bunch of other times. Had it in a bunch of shows. Got stale, took it out, threw it back in way later, got stale, took it back out, finally got it listed everywhere else. And instead of selling for $15 on Whatnot, I was able to sell it for $31, shipping included on Etsy. So you can see I had it listed for $39. The buyer used a 20% off coupon, so it was $31.20. Shipping was $4.88, which I cover on Etsy. And so my total profit, not including cost of goods and platform fees and stuff as usual, was $26.32. So still better than $15 on Whatnot, which I still would have had to pay fees out of. So, that's nice. Just a nice, once again, a little reiteration for me that just because it's starting to feel stale for me doesn't mean that it actually is. And then just here's, extra pictures of cute little speed limit tag, cute little shirt, whatever, right? So there's that. That was the first one. Second Etsy sale was this shirt. So this shirt, different lesson, just because I've had it since the dawn of fucking time doesn't mean it's not going to sell. This is an adorable little Batman t-shirt. So this t-shirt is just, oh my God, my hair is everywhere and aggravating me. It's just a little, first of all, here's the logo. Okay. So is it official Batman? Probably not, because this one has cute little eyeballs. Look at the eyes. Look at that. So cute. Anyway, cute little eyeballs. It says SD graphics down here. I don't know what that is. I was not able to find anything. It's just a single seam stitch t-shirt. This is the tag, very plain and boring. I think it was T-Swings is the brand. So just 80s, soft and thin, single stitch, whatever, basic t-shirt. I've had this for 1.5 million years. I had it listed, I think, as like bootleg Batman for a while on Etsy. Now, some of these sites will sometimes sort of, I think they call it shadow banning. I mean, I know shadow banning is a thing. I just don't, whatever. Like, if you have weird terms in there, your listing may not really be shown to people. I know on Etsy, for example, one of the things that can sort of hide your listings from a lot of people is if you have something like the word sexy in there. So then it kind of puts it into another like safe category. So like it won't be shown to kids and stuff. So even though it seems like a kind of benign word, because you're just like, oh, sexy little prom dress, that can like kind of shoot you in the foot a little bit. So bootleg may have been one of those words. This had recently expired on Etsy in my mass expiration issue. And I finally reposted it. I cross-posted it everywhere. It was not previously cross-posted. I took the word bootleg out. I just called it a vintage Batman t-shirt. The other thing that makes it difficult is this shirt, if you look at the date, it says 1989, right? Now Batman is all like in whatever. They've done like 87 different Batman movies and stuff. I think at this time, maybe the Michael Keaton Batman movie had been done, but he was like the first one. And that might have been, I forget exactly when that was. That might have been like 88. Like this could have been just a generic printed Batman tee. Like I don't believe that, look, don't get mad at me. I don't remember if Batman is like Marvel or DC, whoever owns it. They didn't have like their own t-shirt brand and shit like that at this time. So this, I don't think this was a legit Batman because again, he's got little cute little eyes. But other than that, the graphic really looks like some of the Batman logos, which again, change a lot. I know this is all very long-winded to say that like this is probably like a bootleg Batman tee, right? And maybe that was hurting my ability to sell it, but it's just a cute little t-shirt. And how else do you kind of explain this? So anyway, finally cross-posted it. I had taken out the word bootleg. Here we are. It finally sold for $39, which it went to it was an international sale, so I did not have to pay shipping. Buyer pays shipping for that. So this sold for $39. So that's fantastic. It took me like 700 years to, I mean, literally probably like, I've probably had this shirt for 8 years, maybe as long as 10. I don't remember because I know that these are not the original photographs that I took of it. I've had it for a very long time. So anyway, now it is sold. Huzzah. Let's move along to my next sale, which is also still on Etsy. Really adorable little vintage cotton day dress, like 60s era, 50s era. This is a vintage Lane Bryant. And I got this from the estate sale where I got a whole bunch of plus size cotton dresses and other stuff. Really fun estate sale. It has taken me so long to get these dresses listed. I think this was the first one that I listed. And there's another one of these that you'll see in a second that sold on eBay. And I still have more that I have to actually get published. I've been dragging ass on these suckers. And, you know, I'm saying plus size, but like these were probably all kind of in the extra large vicinity, not quite. Some of them might creep up into like 1X, but this was really cute. Let me show you the tag on this one. Now, I only listed this one for $59 because, where's your tag, girl? Here it is. Because this had some discoloration on it that I was not able to get out. But look at this tag. Originally, I was thinking this dress was 60s because a lot of the other ones seem like they're in the 60s range. This estate sale had like, you know, sort of a wide range of eras, but a lot of the stuff I got seemed to be sort of 60s. But when I looked up the Lane Bryant tags on Vintage Fashion Guild, this looked more in line with the 50s. So that's what I went with for the listing. And this did have some areas where there was discoloration. So you can see a little bit right here. You know, let me see. And then like sort of in this vicinity, right? But really cute dress. So I listed it for $59. The buyer used a coupon for 20% off. So that brought it down to $47.20. I pay shipping, which was $5.71. So I made $41.49. Really cute dress. And then that's all that I sold on Etsy. So now we're going to move along to eBay. First up on eBay is this maternity top. Now, maternity is always a weird thing for me because I've heard that it sells really well. I can understand where somebody who is interested in vintage clothing has a hard time finding vintage maternity. So like I get all that, but I don't know. I don't come across it super often. When I found this blouse, I just really like the blouse also. I did originally have this put up on Whatnot. I wasn't sure if I would expect it to sell or not. I mean, it's just cute as a blouse, even if you're not pregnant. But it is definitely a maternity brand. Let's see where we go here. Little cute little rayon blouse. So, oh mama, you know, maternity, obviously. This was new old stock. So I listed it for $59. You're going to see here at the top, it says February 12th, 2026, but that's just, probably when I relisted it. I've had it for longer than that. So here's my very charming depiction of a pregnant person in this shirt. Lovely. But, you know, I feel like if you're pregnant, you want to make sure that there's enough room in there, and seeing it the other way doesn't really do much. And I don't have a pregnant dress form. So there you go. So sorry. But they got the idea. I had it listed for $59. The buyer sent me an offer of $30, which like I'm not thrilled with 50% off, but I don't pay shipping on eBay and I've had this a while and it was maternity. So it's just like, fuck it. I accepted the 50% off. So it sold for $30. Buyer paid shipping. So I made $30. So yay. And then my last item that I sold this week was also on eBay and also one of the sort of plus size cotton dresses. This one was a new old stock. It's really cute. You can see like some of the new old stocky tags down here. I'll show you. Let's see. So I've been trying to do this new format where like I do the modeled photos and then I just do the dress form, because on the dress form, I am physically closer to the dress when I take the photo. Like when I'm doing these model shots, the camera is further away from me and then I crop it down. I don't know how much difference it makes as far as like the high resolution quality of the photo, if it's making a ton of difference that way. But I feel like it certainly can't hurt. And then when I have it on the dress form, you know, I do like another little close-up shot here, and I'll do, stuff like this. Maybe if there's cute buttons or whatever, I try and get close-ups while it's on the dress form, and it just makes it a little bit nicer. So that's this dress. It helps a lot now that both eBay and Etsy let you put so many photos up. Poshmark does as well. Depop is still limited to 8, but anyway, cute dress. This sold for, I had it listed for $89. The buyer sent me an offer for $65, which I accepted. Buyer pays shipping, so I made $65 on this dress. Isn't it cute? Oh, let's see. Look at that. She's so cute. A cute little collar and everything. I love it. So I have a few more of these dresses that I need to get listed, so that's cool. Anyway, that's everything that I sold for the week. So yeah, that's it. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. I have so much work to do. I'm getting this video out a little bit late, but that's okay. I hope that you found this informative, useful, inspirational, a cautionary tale. I don't know, but I appreciate you watching it. And if you enjoyed it, or if you didn't hate it, at least if you can give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment or anything like that. If you're not subscribed and you watch me regularly or would like to watch me regularly, if you could do me a favor and subscribe, because that helps also, mostly my ego, but apparently my YouTube channel. I'm going to go now because it's getting really awkward. Thank you so much for watching all of this. I appreciate you so, so, so much.